Hello, Nick. Hello, Hannah. Hello, friends. Soul Dr. Nick here. And it is February 26th, I believe, 2025, Wednesday morning. And this is mirror work. This is magic mirror work. This is magical reflection mirror work. And I'm starting to play with it a little bit, and we'll really start nailing it down because there's a magic to this. I am noticing the magic and noticing the challenge of it. So I'm gonna dive right in. And again, this isn't for public content. This is for me to me. And if you decide to stay on, this is up to you. And I'm gonna release this whenever I do, but I have been recording this daily since the 12 days before the end of January. And I renamed it into mirror work on February 14th, Valentine's Day. And continuing to do this because I realize what an impact it's making, and this is for me. Yesterday was a challenging day, and I recognize it's partly when I'm working around other people. There's always an excuse. So let's preface this with there's an always excuse. So everything I'm saying right now is just a story. So when I'm working around other people, there's a part of me that is noticing that I'm trying not to get judged or working for their approval. It's like, oh, I feel really tired, but I feel like I shouldn't be because they're doing stuff. And the closer they are to me, all the way up to my beloved, the more that impacts me. And then I say it's just a story because I realize even when I'm by myself, today I'll have time by myself. What's going to happen and what work comes naturally. And part of it is the kind of work that's going to come naturally. Some of it's probably more of this. I might do some more mirror work and other things today. And part of it is, oh, there's some cleaning and decluttering things to do. And oh, there's so many people that I want to reach out to, and I'm not. Like I can feel right now, whew, I have a little tightness in the chest, a little shortness of breath, a little, that's that reminder, it's still there. And I say it's in the sense that sometimes I want to think, I've risen above it. And what I love about listening to Dr. Demartini recently is he's constantly reminding us, like, no, it's not about getting past something. It's not about disowning. Like, you have every single human trait if you actually take a look. And most of us are like, oh, I no longer judge, or I no longer this. You're trying to disown part of yourself versus actually embody fully myself, have the unconditional love for myself, and then still be able to make the choices to change things. For example, I recognize that there's a request that I actually do a little bit more hands-on work, fixing, upgrading, hanging things around the home. That's something that I've been putting off because I'm like, oh, I've got all these other things to do. And for me, I recognize now that it's how do I raise that in my values? How do I see that that's important to me? Because when I don't, I just keep procrastinating. And part of it right now even is, as I'm imagining this weekend, it's starting to do that work. What are my top 3 things that I want to make sure I actually, accomplish this year? And reminding myself of the values. Top value is my own map of consciousness. Oh my God, like I recognize that every time I'm raising it, I'm seeing things differently. And then second is my family, my biological family, my parental extended family, and then the Ohana. And the third is the business, the founders, Ohana Sage, Ohana Breath, and fourth is financial wealth. Now, there are things that come to mind right away when I hear this. I'm like, oh my God, I've got to clean up the home. I've got to clean up my financial house in order in terms of all the different things. I've got to dot, 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 dot. And what I'm reminded of is these are the aspirational dreamy things. And what's most important to me, because sometimes I could be like, oh my God, the most important thing is $1 billion, but that's just a number. It doesn't represent what I want to represent. Like part of this, the representations are being fully ready to have a second child, whether we actually do or not. That's an aspirational dream. Because I recognize what that means. It means that we're ready for welcoming another member, welcoming another challenge, having the support for it, being clear that time is ticking in a way, and if we want to go on adventures, we want to go on them now because things are going to change again. Yeah. And then taking a look at how do I actually structure these dreams, not in the context of the outer reality, but it's the inner reality. So that's why it's like being fully ready, like ready for a second child. Being fully, oh, 1 second. Hello, good morning. And just recording this right now still. Part of it is the, oh, let's see here. Just trying to remember. I've forgotten now already. Thank you. What I'm recognizing, cleaner just came in and out tonight, was my practice not to stop this video. Because part of me wanted to, it's like, oh, I'm scared, put it away. Is reminding myself, doing this mirror work, I'd gotten a little bit to the presentation phase. I need to present. I need to get right. Like, all right, being ready for second child. First year goals with Ohana Sage. So running 55 people through our programs, whether it's soul immersion or whether it's the retreats. Having Ohana breath take off. And I'm saying all these things because I'm like, whew, getting nervous. How do I get this right? And now let's get it all down, possibilities to make it more clear. Get the collaborators right. Like have Ohana Sage with 55 clients flowing, like it's easy, lucrative, and fun. That's a bigger part of it, making it sure it feels easy, lucrative, fun. It's automated. Automated that the money is flowing in, that it's flowing into the savings, it's flowing into the investments. Like that would be really fun. Having my financial house cleaned up and doubling our net worth, at least net assets. That would be fun. Feeling the tightness again. Oh my God. Traveling internationally, that would be fun. And in a way we already have today. We already have this month. Yeah. Running a really successful retreat. Financial house in order. Being in a home that we really feel really good about. And we do about this one already, and we already know it's not the home. And we're grateful for that. We're seeing those edges now. We're seeing those edges now. Being in such good health for the whole family. Like each one of us has our own things. Okay, this is what Elena was reminding me of, getting those things in order, and then taking a look at what are the main things that is going to block me from achieving. And what I appreciate about her is like, no, you're going to achieve your goal. Like, we're not doubting that, but there are things to take a look at that dissolve through the breakthrough experience. Like, I can feel it. I go stupid, is what it feels like. I go stupid. I'm like, so smart, so wise. So what is going to stop me? And usually it can be under 10, so father, mother, brother, it can be the three main things that are the teachers here. And the fear of opinion. And it's the father, the blessing of the father, that's going to be the fear of the opinion. And the father extends to the brother, extends to former mentors, teachers, people I look up to, even probably Dr. John, because I have such a belief in working with the medicine and transcendent states. Or maybe that even goes on to the law, right? Like, oh my God, there's so many things that can get in the way of doing this work. And I play both in the realm of purely breath and then full-on medicine, God molecule. And the purely breath, much more acceptable now. Like, I've breathed so many people, including my own father, and including my own mother, and that part is acceptable and they can see the benefit of it. And I'm not stopping there, because it's the other part that they're like, oh, this has caused rifts in the family, this has caused challenges, this has caused real issues. So there's that component. What's going to stop me? Some of the beliefs around money, some of the beliefs around belonging, some of the beliefs around getting kicked out, some beliefs around health and stress and taking too much on. What traits are they? What's actually there? Being exiled has been a theme for me, or being betrayed. It's more the exile side of things. How could I get exiled from the thing I'm creating myself? All right. So there's that. And then being myself, like what I really appreciated talking with Elena was the fact that being myself is not easy. Sometimes I'm trying to perform, sometimes I show up as someone else, and that's what I need to do, is be myself. And I love how she framed it about her dad, and I can see it more now. I had my own judgments around how he is, what's actually there, and I'm forgetting the absolute depth of wisdom and dedication he's had to developing his own reason, his own intellect, his own spirituality. And he's developed it in different ways. Just because he does not focus on plant medicines now, I recognize that there's a piece of me that's like, you don't see what I see, and you don't need the medicine. So going into this not trying to fix anything. I'm not going to this because I know better. And I appreciate her kindness and her candor. She's done this hundreds of times now. She knows it keeps changing. And she's willing to say, hey, we'll take some extra time. If you've got some things that come up, feel free to take it and say it, because we want to hear it. And part of it is this is a reflection back to me. How can I, when I feel like I figure something out, be willing to hear these things? Like hearing from people, and it's not just from one person, but the music. Like it's a little bit janky in terms of its crescendo, decrescendo. And how do I want to rise it, drop it? And part of it is, even as I remember learning about the Roxiva light and how they can make a bespoke session for my breaths in general, is how to rise it up and then drop it down. And then how to give little pulses. Like I don't want one steep linear rise. It's rise, probably 3 rises to a peak. Down, peak, down, peak, down, peak. Yeah, so probably 3 pulses up, 3 pulses on the way down. That would be wonderful, actually. That'd be wonderful. Great reminder, whether I make it 44 minutes, whether I make it an hour. Yeah. Yeah, so what else is there? What else is there? The infinite universe. I am right now working to create the structure in my own head of what we're doing, and look at the vision. What are we actually trying to create for this year, for 5 years? What are the goals? Bring us back to the metrics. This first quarter, in an ideal world, what I had planned on, what I had metriced up for, is having 10 people sign up. And I recognize there's a piece of me that's pushing, that's feeling tight, that's feeling like I'm behind, that feels like I'm not sharing this enough. And then the parts that we are actually accomplishing are getting the website up. We actually have something live that can be shared. A little pain in the right here. And then recognizing the collaborations that want to be there, the places and the spaces where things are working, where things are not working. And and just taking a look at what do we actually want, what is actually needed. Where does attention and money want to flow? And then noticing the fear that underlies so many different things. So many different things. Loving the white cedar oil. Loving the white cedar oil and taking a look at what's next. What's next for the branding, for the packaging. Taking a look at my own ceremony at some point in time. Priority, non-priority. Priority, non-priority. Priority, non-priority. And perhaps that's the similarity I can see here, the simplicity of the process. When I was working with a certain protocol, there was such a simplicity of the process, it's almost silent. And then my own process, it's really complex. There's lots of talking, there's lots of back and forth, lots of dialogue, and it's part of what I actually want right now. I'm exploring it. Every time I'm exploring this dialogue, I'm exploring this work, I'm exploring hearing myself speaking. Sometimes it's fucking tiring hearing myself speaking. Today is going to be a wunderbar day. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. Wisdom is the instantaneous recognition that crisis is a blessing. Every day in every way I'm getting stronger and stronger. Whatever I have done or I have not done, I am worthy of love. And I'm coming back to the breakthrough experience again, the book. And I haven't done all the work yet. This bookmark. I'm going to go to the annotations. So, one of the possible mission statements. I, Nicholas Wong, hereby declare before myself, others, and God that my primary purpose in life is to be a master, healer, and teacher. I do this by continually learning and absorbing every form of healing known to humankind. I integrate and synthesize their essence and take the best of the best methods and procedures. I figure out how to serve people most efficiently and effectively in the shortest period of time. I have in return the opportunity to receive incredible financial and social compensation. In my pursuit of the universal laws of healing, I am enabled to travel the world, exploring ancient healing centers and meeting the most extraordinary professional healers known to man. This is a great starting place for my own mission statement. There's a few things that I see here. It's not trying to take, it's not saying yes to everything. It's really absorbing the healing that I'm called to, and not saying no just because I feel a little scared. Yeah, a master healer and teacher. Yeah. I, Nicholas Wong, hereby declare before myself, others, and God that my primary purpose in life is to be a master healer and teacher. I do this by continually learning and absorbing every form of healing known to humankind. I integrate and synthesize their essence and take the best of the best methods and procedures. I figure out how to serve people most efficiently and effectively in the shortest period of time. I have in return the opportunity to receive incredible financial and social compensation. In my pursuit of the universal laws of healing, I am enabled to travel the world, exploring ancient healing centers and meeting the most extraordinary professional healers known to man. And I'm noticing that I forget about the time quotient. So many of the people I look to and look up to, they've had a few extra years. And to let go of that, because that's part of the story, right? I am using that so I can feel young enough, but the comparison piece is a trap. Because then I can always find someone younger who's doing something more extraordinary and be like, oh my God, I'm behind. Like I can feel that, like that's part of what's going on right now. I feel behind. And it's being honest with the feelings that are coming up. If you believe in God, work with him. If you do not, become one. The ratio between what you know and how much you actually do is determined by the size of your why. So over and over, I'm coming back to my why. And I'm scared because there's a piece of me that's trying to find a why that will meet everyone's approval. And as much as it's funny, there's so much criticism of Donald Trump and Elon Musk right now, here in Canada especially. And so much as there's criticism, part of me looks back and, again, not agreeing or disagreeing with what they're doing and saying, wow, the courage to face this kind of resentment. And it's such a reminder that when we look at Dr. Demartini, the balance of positive and negative polarity, the number of people that are willing to sign a petition saying revoke his citizenship, if we're actually being honest and clear, and then we can actually imagine there's an equal kind of number of people who would sign that petition saying we love the fact that he's a citizen, and we're only listening to the ones that are willing to be this vocal now because they feel safe enough to be this vocal. It doesn't feel safe, almost in a way, to be vocal in support of them right now in Canada. And it's just funny to notice these polarities. I used to poo-poo all these things, right? And that's why it's such a freedom of speech. Like for me, even right here, right now, in a way I have freedom of speech, and in a way I'm self-censoring over and over again, and I can feel that self-censoring. It's like, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. And I'm owning and knowing it. And part of me doing this online is that I can use the excuse, oh, I'm censoring because of you. But if I already have said that this mirror work, this magic mirror work is for me, and just happens I'm putting it online, then that's part of the false dichotomy. And it's just catching myself over and over again. And if I'm doing that here, even for this, then how am I doing this in the wider world where I am actually being seen by others? And how can I practice being more and more clear, letting go of that, because that's part of the barrier. And what I really enjoy is when I get really deep in ceremony with someone, I remind them, often you can imagine your voice coming through my mouth, your voice coming through my mouth. And when that's happening, can you actually be like, oh, this is so cool? Because then we realize how linked we actually are, how guided we actually are, how connected we actually are. And when we're feeling that connected with not only ourselves, not only myself, but with another, then there's just love. There's just love. And I really appreciate this. One of the things that my beloved really helped for me was just giving money to that person on the street that is asking for it, especially when I'm in the car. I've got the moment, I'm already sitting at the light, they're coming up, they're asking for it, they're being clear. And this is the thing now, I'm seeing this now. They're being clear on their ask. They are arriving at a point where it's convenient. And the only thing that's blocking me from that convenience right now is me. It's not an exorbitant amount of money. We keep changing the car so it's readily accessible. And it allows me an interaction of reminding myself of humanity and the humanity of others. And let's keep creating more opportunities like this, even on the other side. So I'm practicing, I just created a new video for private breath sessions and gonna switch that up on the website. So over and over again, how do I make my message more clear so it gives people the opportunity to just say yes, just to say yes. And make it easier and easier, right? Easier and easier. Easier and easier. Yeah. And in a way, moving forward, it's going to be making a booking to our session, breath. All of the inquiries, please reach out. And right now, it'll just be please reach out. So for March, I think the goal is to update Ohana Breath. Put it in line with Ohana Sage. Have these easy ways for people to connect with me. For private work as well, because this is part of it. Just feeling so much. Feeling so much. I am a star, my destiny is to shine. I am a master of details, and I see my path clearly. I am the author of my life. Whoever has the most certainty rules. The truth of me is light. God is the power, I am the vision, we're the team. Dear God, I ask that I forever remain an inquisitive explorer, one determined to solve some of humanity's natural riddles, one willing to be suspicious of any stagnant convictions when confronting the mysteries of the human mind, one enabled to probe the most intriguing mysteries lying concealed in the complex operations of the evolving human consciousness, one adding new discoveries, and one awakening humanity to ever greater mysteries. I ask that I be a pioneer in the works of human behavior, that I have the audacity to be relentless in the quest, and have the quiet resolve to become one of the greatest and most elucidating cultural forces in the fields of chiropractic, psychology, philosophy, and theology. I ask that I am enabled to further develop my revolutionary psycho-transformative tool with 1,000 uses called the quantum collapse process, and that I am able to live a privileged and high-cultured life for the sake of fulfilling this lifelong quest. So one of the clients that I have reaching out, I'm having them go through the paces of breath and then taking a look at what's next. So I think it's actually great that we're actually going to meet in about a week's time. This is probably planting the seeds for what he needs to see. And he gets to choose if it's sooner. Be a wealthy multimillionaire and charitable philanthropist by the age of 44. A monthly accelerated savings plan where I invest $2,000, then $3,000, then $4,000, and so on within the Merrill Lynch Financial Brokerage Corporation, using the strategy of dollar cost averaging, combined with the value averaging, continually building cushions of investment classes while diversified through sectors, using a balance of actively managed mutual funds and passively managed index funds. Have patience and the rewards of financial freedom, travel, and social and charitable opportunity. I'm ready to write down my love list. Do it for each of the 7 areas of life. There's so much of this that's linked to the master planning for life. And I'm grateful for having done it. And man, I can see what he means. This is not the easy, straightforward work. This is not the work that feels like it's super productive. And this is super productive. And coming back to this is something that I love and is a challenge. So coming back to the master planning for life as I prepare for the breakthrough experience is important. And I'm contemplating already, do I do the April one with my parents in Toronto? So I'm just gonna plant that seed for myself. Plant these seeds. This is the part to grow into, to break through the old patterns, to notice when I get stuck in myself. Like, this is how I again have been turning days into weeks, weeks into months, months into years, years into lifetimes. Like, it feels like I've lived multiple lifetimes now. And sometimes I look around going, I feel like I'm doing nothing, like literally doing nothing. Like, we're just kind of circling the same experiences. Shouldn't we be traveling the world, having all these exotic experiences? And we are having exotic, bespoke experiences because every time we are enjoying the heck out of ourselves. And part of it is creating the certainty of our nest, our tribe. Like, there's a core strength to my family right now. And it's not in the exclusion of my parents or in the exclusion of dear friends who want to see us. dear friends who want to see us and make the time to see us, that coming to us, we make time for them. And we have not been making more time just to keep maintaining relationships. I do know that. Again, part of me wants to take really close friends through our process. And part of me is reminding myself, how do I let go of trying? Let go of trying. Let go of trying. Just trust. Just trust. Just trust. All right, is there anything else? Is there anything else that wants to or needs to be said? Oh yeah, it's already past 8 o'clock. It's like 9 or 10 a.m. Let's go around outside. Let's chat to myself a little bit. Let's enjoy some of the sunshine today. It's early light. Let's go back and support my beloved and family for whatever they need. All right? Ciao for now.